Hello, my name is Iselda Wagner, and I'll be giving the Cyber Operations and Risk Management briefing. The purpose of this Cyber Operation and Risk Management briefing is to discuss software assurance, the role it plays in an organization's operational safety, and how to accomplish safer practices. I'll be providing actionable insights on how an organization can improve security, develop a more robust digital infrastructure, and provide an improved, resilient digital experience. We'll be defining software assurance and what needs to be done to incorporate it into any organization's digital needs. We'll also discuss mitigation techniques, common known vulnerabilities, software development lifecycle and its key attributes along with its different models. We'll be discussing supply chain risks and the relationship it has to ICT, as well as the need for software assurance. We'll be discussing software assurance tools, evaluating costs, and lastly, I've included key terms to look for in a software assurance agreement or an RFP or EULA. Let's get started. Software assurance has been defined by the National Institute of Standards and Technology as the level of confidence that software functions as intended and is free of vulnerabilities, either intentionally or unintentionally designed or inserted as part of the software throughout the lifecycle. Software assurance manages risks associated with vulnerabilities in an organization's infrastructure. Vulnerabilities in software creates a broad landscape that can jeopardize an organization's intellectual property, its consumers' trust, business operations, service disruptions, and brand reputation. Software integrity is vital to the protection of an infrastructure because it reduces the risk of a cyber attack. Software assurance must focus on information technology like hardware and software. Let's discuss known vulnerabilities. To begin with, inadequate protection. A recent Accenture study showed that in the US, 43% of cyber attacks were aimed at small to medium-sized enterprises, and just 14% of those companies are adequately protected. Supply chains are vulnerable to backdoor attacks, which is when a cybercriminal target vendors companies with intentions to gain entry to its larger connected organizations. Small to medium enterprises are often the entry point for malware, ransomware, or the denial of service attacks that eventually work their way through to the larger connected organization. Lastly, outdated or vulnerable open source code is an increasing problem in the software supply chain because it allows an attacker to exploit software products within an organization's sensitive system, like its essential business functions, or its safety functions, or its operational technologies. Next, let's discuss software vulnerability mitigation techniques. Maintain software compliance of ICT devices used within an organization, like software updates and patches. The use of software integrity checks by third-party tools. Avoid human error. Perform proper training for your employees. Situational awareness. This can be accomplished by the prepare and be aware mentality, which can be found on the CISA central website, which has reports of known vulnerabilities and attacks. Software integrity checks by testing and evaluating software. Check assurance levels with penetration testing, malware infection testing, and backdoor testing. Perform emergency management techniques. Conduct and integrate infrastructure assessments. This can be done via the CISA cybersecurity assessment tool that's found on its website, or a CISA Protective Security Advisor, a PSA, can administer a security assessment that's called First Entry. With it contains recommendations for effective security programs like zero trust architecture and cloud security migration techniques. Last, education through training and exercises can provide cyber preparedness, assessments with protective resources, strategic messaging, group support, a partnership and public-private development, incident coordination, and support during a cyber threat, disruption, or an attack. Software Development Lifecycle, the SDLC, and its models. The Software Development Lifecycle is a cost-effective methodology that's been developed to design and build high-quality software in a time-efficient process. It's done through stages and the use of its models. Now, lack of management to software development can lead to loss of opportunity for a business or failure, unexpected costs, and data integrity issues. Now, some of the SDLC stages are planning and analysis, the design, implementation, the testing stage, and then finally the deployment stage. The SDLC models are agile, waterfall, V-shaped, iterative, spiral, lean, and DevOps. Now here we'll be discussing supply chain risks. Some of those factors are economic, environmental, political, ethical, and exploitation of software products. Regarding economical factors, these may be suppliers going out of business, recession, work stoppage of key manufacturing, and environmental factors may include natural disasters like floods, earthquakes, droughts, fires. Political risks may be civil unrests or new leaders who implement restrictions on exports. Ethical issues may be child labor or forced labor. The exploitation of software and products that are used by suppliers may have missing data encryption or OS command injection or SQL injection. Those are all supply chain risks. Next, we'll be discussing ICT, its relationship to supply chain risks, and the need for software assurance. To begin, software provides quality assurance or management of the logistics in producing and selling commercial goods. Lack of quality in software can result in significant damage to an organization's brand because supply chains are vulnerable to backdoor attacks. ICT provides a business with the ability to perform daily operational tasks related to costs, risks, supplier relationships, customer service challenges, logistics, and more. The abilities ICT gives a business in its performance also creates risks. And that's why there's a need for software assurance. ICT gives a manufacturer secure resources to produce products and deliver those products to the point of purchase. This is a list of software assurance tools that can be used. There are 3 options: open source tools, internal development tools, and commercial tools. Let's discuss them. Open source tools. Some options are find bugs, the OWASP dependency check, the OWASP Z attack proxy, also called ZAP, the CPP check, Wireshark, and the Sonar Cube. Regarding internal development, this is when software is developed within an organization. Now, this gives an organization control over security and software compatibility. It does require high expertise software developers. Last, commercial tools. These are analysis tools like Coverity, ReSharper, dSource, and many more. I've included a cost estimate for open source, commercial, and internally developed software tools. Open source is free. However, It can lead to unexpected costs if the code is vulnerable to an attack. Recent studies have showed the average cost of a data breach to a small business may range from $120,000 to $1.24 million. IBM's 2019 cost of a data breach report recently found the average cost of a data breach was $3.92 million, and that breaches cost smaller businesses more relative to their size than they cost large businesses. Commercial. The cost ranges between $120 to $22,000. Because it's a complex and it often requires customized development, the cost of supply chain management software typically depends on the size of the business and whether a cloud-based or on-premise solution is needed. Internally developed software tools range between $50,000 to $250,000. The lower price tag fits a simple app that takes less than 700 hours to develop. So if you're building a multi-platform app with a server-side application, the fee is likely in the six figures estimate. Lastly, I've included important terms that should be included in the software assurance agreement. This concludes the cyber operations and risk management briefing. Thank you for your time.